What's up, guys? This is the voice of YouTube's random Shadow Thatcher here. Now, there is a good reason why there's no scripts video today. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my throat is a little bit scratchy, and since with Scourge, he has a very raspy voice and a little bit deep. I don't want to damage my vocal cords, so today you're getting a discussion between me and, well, Foxy Waifu.
Hi! And if you guys can't tell by what's on the screen, Beyblade.
Now, I'm not going to be surprised if this video doesn't get a lot of views, because this is a type of video that will probably belong on the collecting channel.
Yeah.
But recently we've been binging Beyblade, and we're currently on Beyblade V-Force. Actually, right now, pause. We have episode 13 of Beyblade V-Force, pause.
Yeah, we've been binging, the OG Beyblade.
And not only that, but, you know, we've actually been, we've decided that, you know, we're going to, well, first and foremost, let me explain my history with Beyblade. I heard about Beyblade from some neighborhood friends, and I'm like, Beyblade? That sounds dumb. And then I forgot how the events lit up, but they gave me my first Beyblade, which was Dronzer F, or Dronzer Flame, going by its full name, which was the second Beyblade Kai ever used in the original anime.
Yup.
And he used it in V-Force up until a certain point before they take on the actual team sidekick.
Oh yeah.
Because he ends up upgrading it to Dronzer V.
Mm-hmm.
But it did not have the actual Beyblade, you know, Dronzer bit chip in it. It had the generic one. Remember how those old Beyblades would like come with two bit stickers?
Yeah.
Well, the one that they did, which after thinking about it, they actually shafted me. They didn't have Dronzers installed on the attack ring. They had the generic secondary one.
Oh, ouch. That's a big oof.
Which that bit beast was known as Night Dronzer, but I believe in the Japanese version, I believe it was called something different from what I remember.
Might have been.
Because when it comes to the three company that produces Beyblades, you have Hasbro, Takara, Tomy,
And then the Sokong
yeah,
one.
Sonokon.
Sonokong. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
Which is the South Korea distributors of Beyblade.
Yep.
And then, you know, I got into the show after that, and I was hooked, and my favorite character always changed as a kid. Like, I would always go from Kai to Tyson to Ray. And then would you like, what?
Oh, I was gonna ask if Max was ever your favorite character since you switched between a lot as a kid.
No, Max never really... I mean, I liked Max as a kid, but he never really became, like, one of my favorites. It was always Kai, Tyson, or Ray.
Poor Maxie.
Because honestly, I mean, what's more cooler? A dragon, a phoenix, a tiger, or a freaking turtle? What would get a kid's interest more?
Pretty much the top three you just named all.
Yeah. It's the same way with Pokemon. People either choose Charmander or frickin'
Blastoise.
Yeah, you know, Charizard or Blastoise. And it's always the weird kid that picked Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
You know. the kids that wanted to be different.
We have to be different than the plebs that are picking Charizard and Blastoise.
Yes, the Charizard and Blastoise are very overrated.
And then Pokemon Yellow comes up. Pikachu's over!
Don't get me started on the whole Pikachu versus Eevee debate, because we have some friends that
I know. I wasn't saying
that are side Eevee, that are Team Eevee.
I know. I wasn't trying to start that up. I was just saying some people say Pikachu's overrated too.
I mean, Pikachu's the freaking mascot.
Yeah.
So when people think about Pokemon, they think about Pikachu.
That is true. Or Charizard.
Pikachu or Charizard. It's those two.
Yeah, majority of the time, yeah.
Anyways, back to Beyblade. So, over time, when I was a kid, I got tons of Beyblades. But for some reason, as a kid, there was one Beyblade I always wanted, because I loved the look of it. But for some strange reason, I could never find it around my area. Which was Dragoon Phantom.
Huh, that is weird that you wasn't able to find that around in your area.
My neighborhood friend, older brother, did this. Oh my god, he did something that now luckily his dad reprimanded him for it, and they actually gave me one of their Beyblades because of the fact that, it was such a bratty thing to do. He was saying we were kids say and do stupid things.
This is true.
But from what I remember, it was where if I could catch him, he would give me his Dragoon F.
Oh, what? Oh, no, not one of those tactics. Oh, no.
And then, ever since that day, I became I wanted that Beyblade.
I can't blame you on that one. Like, holy.
I guess, looking back on it too, maybe, looking at it now, maybe I did feel a little robbed, but at the end of the day, I still got a free Beyblade, which was, it was funny. It was oh my god.
Was it the Salamander one?
Yeah, Johnny uses.
It was Johnny's Beyblade. Nice.
And, and honestly, like, I was always around for, like, every era of, like, when it comes to the game of Beyblade itself, I was always kept up to date with shit. Like, I remember the day that Metal Fight Beyblade came out.
Yeah, it's been 10 years since that came out.
I pre-ordered the very original Leon. This was before the anime came out, babe.
Oh,
this
before the anime came out? Dang!
These were, like, the pre-versions of Storm Pegasus and Rock Leon. And I got my very first Japanese base stadium, which was the Metal Fight Beyblade Attack Stadium, which I still have. And that's what I pretty much decided, like, when it comes to stadiums, I'm sorry, but the thing that I hate about Hasbro when they do Beyblades is that they either do really good, or they cheap out.
It's usually one of the two.
When it comes to the classic era, they did alright. I wish we got some more of the attachments for the grip launcher. I wish we got more of the color variations.
Oh yeah.
That Japan got, and I wish we got the Dark Beyblades, Dark Dragoon, Dark Bronzer, and all that, and Dark, Guy Dragoon, and I wish we got the freaking original Strata Dragoon before it turns into the V version.
Oh, yeah, that would have been cool.
So yeah, I mean, when it comes to the modified era, I never kept up with the anime because it's kind of like how there are Yu-Gi-Oh fans that they might have kept up with the game, but when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, nothing beats the freaking OG character.
Oh, yeah. You are not wrong on that.
Even though naturally I like the characters from GX, I like the characters from 5Ds.
Same as well.
But and then ironically enough, things went full circle for me. We were at Myers, which is a store that people around that the northeastern gets.
Yeah.
And I remember walking. I for some reason I was going to check out the toy section because here's the thing: I'm a collector of action figures. I'm still very much a kid at heart, so I still get fascinated.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I still get fascinated by the new Star Wars products that comes out.
Oh yeah.
And then this I remember walking, and I see the Beyblades, because I always looked at the Beyblades. Next thing I know, my eyes look down, and all I see, and my mouth dropped. There's the double pack of Dronzer F and Drasil S in their burst versions.
Oh, I remember that. You told me about that. I remember you texting me about that.
And I remember picking it up. And I remember, during that moment, I'm like, okay, do I want this? No, knowing that, and let me give some context. I never got out of Beyblade. It became like Yu-Gi-Oh! To where I
didn't have anyone to Bey battle.
No, and I know that with Yu-Gi-Oh! There's the online stuff, but here's the thing.
Online.
I like being there face to face.
Yeah.
I like being there face to face. I guess this is going to be weird because I'm a very introverted person. I like the social aspect of bringing your deck to a place
Just
and dueling that way.
Yeah, sitting it down, having that confident look like I'm gonna beat this person or I might not. Who knows?
And when it comes to Beyblade, there is a Beyblade app you can do that, but it's not the same.
Yeah, we both have the app, but it's not the same.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but it just don't feel the same as you don't get to pull the ripcord or anything.
No. Well, in my case, it's a freaking string.
Yeah, string.
Which, I'll get more into the whole technical stuff. And of course the anime and all that. This might be a kind of long discussion.
That's fine.
And then, I'm like, okay, well, if I get this, I'm going to have to get me... Because what was holding me back was, okay, this doesn't come with a launcher and a ripcord. And I look up and I see a string launcher. Now, I guess now I can talk to you about my whole setup when it comes to Beyblade. Now,
yep.
During the Classic era, if I remember correctly, the Classic Beyblades never had a string launcher. They didn't get a string launcher until the HMS system, which was the last Beyblades that you see Tyson and Kai and them using in the anime.
Yeah, that's true.
But that version of the string launcher is different because you actually have to wind the string around.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing a commercial about those.
Here's the thing, they never came out in America.
Wait, they didn't?
Nope.
Okay, I don't know where I saw that commercial at then.
You probably saw a Japanese commercial somehow then.
Yeah, I don't, because I remember seeing that as a kid.
And, I see the string launch. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can, get a grip launch for this. Well, and I'll get more into the whole technical stuff. But so I'm like, okay, well, because at the time I was, you know, my parents allow me to get things because, well, allow me to get something that day, and I took this, and I, just told them I want this and all that because I knew that if I didn't get this, I would not have the chance, and I was right.
Yeah, you was right on that because those went by. Those went by quick.
And there's actually 2 other double packs that contains Dronzer S and Dragoon and Dronzer S and Dragoon S, and then there's one that contains Dragoon, Dragoon S and
Drasil.
No, Dragoon F, and we actually did get Wolborg and Dragoon F, but I missed out on them somehow. They came out last year, and Drasil F is coming out in in June, so, well, July or June, so we're gonna make sure to pre-order that for sure.
Oh yeah, I saved the page thing, linky thing you sent me.
Because when it comes to the Burst Beyblades, I prefer what Takara's putting out, but I still like to support Hasbro when it comes to Beyblades because it's still, I want to do my part when it comes to keeping, Beyblade alive in America and all that, because I don't want to go through that whole thing to where Beyblade's gone, and then you have, in my opinion, when I was a kid, 2 things trying to completely take over Beyblade. Which is Bladebreakers and Bakugan. In my opinion, as a kid, those 2 were trying to take over the Beyblade. I'm sorry, but Bakugan, and I know that there's a lot of people that love Bakugan. In my opinion, Bakugan is a freaking Duel Masters mixed with Dungeons and Dragons ripoff.
As someone who has watched Bakugan, I can agree to that to some degree.
And who freaking remember Duel Masters? I do.
I do too. I never got to watch it, but I do remember it.
I was a fan of it. I watched it.
We are currently showing our age right now.
That thing came out and tried to take over Yu-Gi-Oh!
And it failed horribly.
Anyways, so yeah. You want to go ahead and say how you got into Beyblade?
My story isn't as good as yours.
Well, go ahead and say it.
Pretty much, let's see. When I first got into Beyblade, pretty much, god dang, that's a tongue twister. Blech. I pretty much just happened to catch it when it was on the TV. When I was watching cartoons. And, it came, like, the OG came on, and I started getting interested in it. I was like, okay, I need to watch this show more, that way I could get an interest in it more as a kid. And I did, and I do remember I had one of the really old Beyblades. I think we still got it somewhere around here. I'm just gonna have to search through everything, like legit. There's a container in one of my closets that's full of toys that I need to go through, and then there's a bunch of bills we have, but that's for another day. So I watched it, got really into it because I was like, okay, this show is cool. This is
Ray Collins' girl on DeviantArt.
Okay, that was when I first got my computer in 8th grade, which was 2004. That was shush you. Shush. I really liked Ray growing up. That's the reason why that came to fruition. And
I wouldn't be surprised if your first Beyblade was a Drigger.
I think, legit, the first Beyblade I had was either Drigger or Dragoon. I can't remember which one it was, which upsets me because I don't know which one it was. That's why I want to find it so badly. But I somehow, this is funny because this happened with Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I somehow skipped over V-Force and went straight to G-Revolution. So, I don't know how I missed V-Force. I'm glad I'm watching it now with Shadow here, but I somehow skipped V-Force. V-Force. I did the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Somehow skipped GX and went straight to 5Ds. I don't know how that happens to me, but it does.
Okay, so what about recently?
Recently?
Yeah, recently.
Like with the Burst series and stuff?
Yeah.
I have been interested in getting some of the Burst bays. Specifically, I do want to get the double pack ones that you got. I do want to get those. And I do plan on watching the Burst series because this guy here is so determined one of the characters is going to become a favorite of mine.
Because I know what you're into.
Yeah, and we ain't determining that until I watch Burst. I told you that. I also did watch a few episodes of the anime Metal Fight, and I did have Jenka's Beyblade. I did have a Storm Pegasus Bay. I just don't know where it's at the moment either.
So pretty much you kind of kept up to date with Beyblade, but not as much as me.
Yeah.
So pretty much recently, what changed for her was, you know, we started getting into Beyblade, and, you know, luckily, because of the fact that, you know, I have a girlfriend that has similar interests as me, I'm able to get back into things that... Well,
yeah.
Get back into things and continue things that I thought I was never going to be able to do again.
Yep, like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, for instance.
Yeah, and... So this is one form when it comes to Beyblade called the WBO. I have I have a bad history with the site, but it's mostly my fault. And, you know, just in case any of the WBO people find this video, I'm just gonna come clean. Okay.
He's coming clean, guys.
When it comes to my introduce yourself thing, I said how, you know, I was kinda coming back, which is true. I was known as Blazing Kai GT before. I was gonna host a tournament in my town, and I stupidly I didn't do things right. So, like, I didn't change the date. I didn't check the freaking weather because it was like yucky weather that day.
Yeah.
And I stupidly did not contact, you know, the people that were going to go. And, well, I got a warning. Now, during that time, I had a bad temper. My temper was worse back then than it was now. And I went off on the founder of...
Yeah.
However, in my defense, what kind of made things look bad, I will fully take full responsibility for that. I mean, that happened like a decade ago.
Yeah.
At this point. He decides to, which I hate it when people do this. It's such a slimy, shitty thing to do. He decides to take the screenshots and post it in sites.
Oh.
And I would not be surprised if you look in here, you could probably still find it.
Maybe.
You know, on the actual site.
It depends if they cleaned up the site a bit or not since it's been a good while.
It seems like the server is a lot more chilled out. Not the server, the site. Oh my god, just on the brain.
Well, they do have a Discord server
yeah.
too, so.
But other But other than that, I fully recognize it was my fault.
Well,
And
hey,
then,
at least you recognize it now.
the second time was when, a dude was just being an absolute dick to people. And I was like, I just told the dude to shut up or something along those lines. And I got a warning for that.
Oof.
And I believe what ticked me off, if I remember, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, is that I believe to them that dude didn't do anything wrong. And I'm the one that got punished for it. Because again, I already had somewhat of a bad reputation on the site.
Yeah.
Now naturally people would want to,
Hear both
log
sides.
into, well, no. Log into the old account and get that account. But again, here's the thing. I don't want that baggage on me. I'm not the same person that I was when I first made that.
That
I
is
wanted
true. You
to
have
start,
changed.
yeah, I wanted to start fresh. Because here's the thing. No matter how much I can talk, as much shit I can about the WBO, they are keeping the sport alive.
Mm-hmm.
I will. They hold so many tournaments, and here's the thing: not everyone can enter a freaking official, Hasbro
Tournament.
Yeah, because it's for kids, which is totally fine.
Yeah, that's fine. The WBO ones that we watched that were on YouTube,
They got me hyped.
They got
Yeah.
intense.
And there were times that they were kind of smack talking to each other too.
I know, it's like they get along, but they also smack talk each other. It's cool.
So
It's like
pretty much, So pretty much, I have already started helping her with getting her, game things going for her so that she can start entering tournaments and all that. Because with this site, we will be able to, enter tournaments around our areas and all that. And I'm sure that me and you will gladly drive to another state to enter a tournament if we have to.
Oh yeah, if it's close enough, yeah.
So, yeah, so let's talk about, I guess, my preferred gear. How long have you been recording?
We have been recording for 27 minutes.
To be honest, it feels longer than that.
27 minutes, almost 28.
Okay. So, when it comes to the gear I used, Classic era, I just used the standard launcher, and then I ended up getting the actual Dragoon launcher that you see Tyson use.
Which one?
It's the one that he used. It's the launcher that Kenny gave him for the championships at the China.
Oh, that launcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he used that up until episode 12 of E4.
Yeah.
And then he got his, which I'm not a fan of that launcher. It's too bulky.
It's too bulky.
And then I got the Kai. I got the Dronzer grip one.
Ooh.
So that's when I started to prefer grip launcher.
Yeah, because yeah, that makes sense.
Matter of fact, Beyblade era, I used the standard Takara launcher and a long ripcord that it came with. I lost my that. I hope I can find it.
I'm sure if you look around, you'll find it.
And then I got this one set that came with a grip launcher, and it contained like 3 Beyblades, and
Ooh.
I started using that, and then finally, I forgot what store it was. I got myself a string launcher because I heard good things about them. I know that they were good. I know that they are good. At the time, actually, they still are. I got that, and I I'm like, oh my god, this is a lot better than using a standard ripcord and launcher.
I'd say it did feel like that felt better.
And because of that, I started kicking my friends' butt. Because here's the thing, right, with the stream launcher, especially with the technique people figured out for it.
Yeah.
It takes no effort to pull that thing, unlike an actual ripcord to where you freaking want to pull as hard as you can.
Yeah, with ripcord you have to pull pretty hard.
And in Beyblade Burst, I wanted, I use a stream launcher currently, and I am going to be upgrading to the Takara stream launchers and grips. Because unfortunately, this is where I don't like Hasbro during this era, is that the launchers suck.
Yeah.
I don't like how they look. They should have kept with the Japanese design. They did so good with the Metal Fight era stuff.
Yeah, they really did.
And then they kind of dropped the ball and made things a little too safe with the Burst era.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big difference from Metal Fight till now, and that kind of says something about, I guess, our society here in America, too, is that things are becoming a bit too safe.
Yeah, you aren't wrong on that one.
Oh, that, it's just because they changed the design, which is probably why I don't like it.
Yeah.
And the Beyblades, and my first actual Burst Beyblade was Bergen Rising.
Oh, I was about to say, was it Spurgeon?
Yep. And that's the same Beyblade that Shu uses. The character I know that you're gonna like.
Like I said, until I watch the anime, I'm begging to differ.
So, I'm itching for this pandemic to end so I can start hosting my tournament and do things right this time.
Yeah!
I'm gonna make sure that the weather's good. I'm gonna make sure that I keep up to date with people. And if I need to move the date, I will. I'm gonna do things right this time.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the Beyblade anime, I am enjoying watching the 3 seasons.
Same.
And in case anyone was wondering what the Beyblade character is, it's Kai.
Him and... I can say this. Him and Kai, in a sense, relate to each other. He's a mixture of Kai and Tyson.
Yeah, but when it comes to Kai, that's my namesake. That's where I got my nickname.
That's where he's got his nickname from. As for me, the 2 characters which aren't on the screen, because I got the Bladebreakers and Ken. Well, I'm just saying Bladebreakers. Kenny's part of the team. As for characters that I think I'm a mixture of, in a sense, is Hillary and Mariah.
I was talking about a mixture of. I was talking about favorite.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't have a favorite character. You know how I am when it comes to the Bladebreakers.
Just say you like all 4 members equally.
I like all 4 members of the Bladebreakers equally.
Okay, there you go. That's fine. And, ironically enough, we're also I want to get my old Beyblades back.
Yep.
And even though I know where a lot are, I wouldn't mind putting together a classic Gen Beyblade again.
Oh yeah.
That was such a weird era because it took so much effort to build one of them.
It really did.
Compared to nowadays, to where you just put the dang ring on the base, and then you just take the attack ring, put it on, and then you just screw it on.
Yeah.
You just turn it, twist it.
That's it. Didn't we watch a video of someone putting a plastic bay together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff looks complicated.
But it's like riding a bike. You don't forget it.
That is also true.
So, is there anything else we want to say?
I do think after we get done with the 3 seasons of the OG Beyblade, I think we do plan on watching Metal Fight.
Yeah, which I'm going to have to I'm going to really have to separate my bias towards the Bladebreakers because I got to keep in mind that it's a
Yeah.
different era, it's a different continuity.
Yeah. Though I will say this now, if I remember how Jinka is, he kind of reminds me of Tyson.
Yeah, and then the dude that used Leon is pretty much Kai, which
Yeah.
ironically enough, Kai's voice actor actually voices a character in Metal Fight.
Wait, he does? Wow.
He voices, if I remember his name, I believe his name is Tsubasa, and he used, I think it's Iron Eagle.
Yo, that's cool.
And speaking of the originals, what I'm happy is they actually brought them back in this new manga series called Burst Rising.
Yeah. I'm hoping, me and him are secretly hoping we get like an anime adaptation of that.
A Beyblade Season 4.
Please. I want to see it. Plus, he sent me pictures of what Tyson and Kai's kids look like. They're mini versions of their dads.
Mm-hmm.
And they're adorable and need to be protected.
Now, when it comes to ships, yes, I do ship Beyblade ships, and no, it's not any of the that you probably expect. Because, like I mentioned many times before,
He has a crack
the one thing
ship.
that yeah, I do, but I also ship ships that make sense.
I know.
Like Tyson and Hillary, Kai and Hillary.
Ray and Mariah, of course.
Yeah, Ray and Mariah, Max and Miriam.
Kai and Mariah.
That's my fan ship right there.
I know. That's your
Like,
fanship.
there's something about the fact like to me it's no different than what Moscow did with like Raditz and Launch. That's what their relation would be like.
Oh god, yeah, it would be. Holy moly, you aren't wrong.
And I do think that Mariah could keep Kai in line.
I mean, it is Mariah. She is
But-
feisty.
Yeah, but anyways, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, if that's all we're needing to say right now.
Yep.
But
Alright, so go on.
I seriously am enjoying watching all of these with you, though.
Oh yeah. I love this series. I love the franchise. I love the game. I love the
yeah.
community. So yeah. As always, if you all have enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell button to know when all my uploads go live. And I'm very sorry that Scourge isn't going to be making his grand appearance.
I'm sure
It's just
people
my-
will understand about your whole throat
Yeah,
situation.
my allergies been kicking my butt.
Allergies suck.
Make sure to hit that bell button to make sure to get all my notifications.
Yee.
And I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.